So I bought Zara Vibrant Leather Explosion, which is the latest flanker to Zara Vibrant Leather, and this is my first impressions of it. So the notes in Zara Vibrant Leather Explosion are bergamot and black pepper. Then we have bamboo, violet leaf, cotton candy, black amber and patchouli. So before I even begin, look at this. And this is something now that Zara has done it. Most brands should do. Look at this. Zara now has, and this is quite a stubborn one, Zara now has a magnetic clamp. So no more excuses from other brands. So let's see what it smells like. Okay, this was interesting straight away. Like quite woody, perhaps a bit fruity twist of the OG. Or maybe not a fruity one, definitely a sweet version of the original Vibrant Leather. So straight away, at least in the opening, I'm getting Vibrant Leather, the OG vibes, but with quite a prominent dose of sweetness. Take a look at this. The text on the box reads, "The elegance and personality of Vibrant Leather and Red Zara Temptation." Red Temptation is Zara's clone of Baccarat Rouge 540, so is this a mix of those two? More on this later. Like a few minutes into the opening, this primarily feels like a woody, sweet version of Vibrant Leather with that quite familiar dose of like citrusy and spicy freshness. I think this is definitely an interesting version of Vibrant Leather based on like the opening and sort of how it moves into the mids. So I recently did a Vibrant Leather comparison. I'm gonna link to that video above, so feel free to check it out. If I like quickly compare this to those, I'm gonna say this actually probably comes up at like top 3 at least. Let me know, by the way, if you want me to do like a full-on comparison of these two. And as it has into the mids and sort of starts to dry down more, I feel this almost starts to change more into the original, which is basically like you have that sort of a Creed Aventus-ish woodiness with its sort of a spicy freshness and all. So at least currently, based on this first impression, it feels like its big sort of or prominent dose of sweetness was mostly present and sort of a dominant in the opening through to the mids and starts to soften up as this thing starts to dry down. I gotta try it on skin as well, and once more up in the air. Much smoother on skin. Its spiciness is quite prominent but a lot softer, and its sweetness comes off way better on skin. And the more this dries down, the more I feel that, yeah, once again, this turns into more like the OG. So if the opening through to the mids and a bit like into the dry down was mostly like the original with a dose of sweetness, then the dry down is more like the original. But I'm gonna say the dry down also has quite noticeable dose of something that is sort of amber. And yeah, I definitely like it. I'm not super blown away by it, but I do think this is a nice twist to Vibrant Leather, which is basically a clone of Creed Aventus. So back to this. Do I think Vibrant Leather Explosion is a mix of Zara's Baccarat Rouge 540 clone and Vibrant Leather? Well, maybe a little bit, but not really. I basically get that Creed Aventus vibe from Vibrant Leather with a bit of sweetness, less freshness and more woodiness. So here are my thoughts on compliments and sort of a mass appeal. Since this, at least based on my first impression, is basically like the original but with like a dose of sweetness and something sort of ambery, this is a mass appealing kind of scent. It's a very likable kind of scent. And the OG, I mean Creed, that sort of a Creed Aventus DNA is incredibly mass appealing. It's a compliment getting kind of DNA. And since the original is heavily inspired by the Creed Aventus, and since this is basically this, but with an added dose of sweetness, this might actually end up being more of a compliment getter simply because of its sweetness. So my thoughts on usage, since this is not as sort of fresh ish as the original, it's perhaps a bit less versatile. But with that said, I don't feel this is a super deep or super heavy kind of scent. So fairly versatile, even though this is not YSLY or the Parfum kind of versatile. It's not as versatile as the original, but I do feel that you can probably use this throughout the year, but perhaps with a focus on fall, winter and spring. When it comes to occasions, really pretty much any time you want. I mean, wear this to work. Most people will probably think you smell good. Wear it casually when you are going out, when you are going on a date. This is perhaps not, I mean, I worn the Creed Aventus DNA in sort of a different forms like Sydenham and Afnan Supremacy, Not Only Intense and all of those to the gym. But this is probably one I would not wear to the gym. So what are some of the alternatives to Vibrant Leather Explosion? The most obvious one is of course the OG, and also some of its flankers. I mean, this is pretty much like a sweet and ambery version of the original. But with that said, you of course have the original Creed Aventus. You also have the Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Mans, the different versions of that one. You also have Afnan Supremacy, Not Only Intense and Supremacy Silver. And if you want to go niche, but you don't want to go to the original Creed Aventus, you have like Nishane Hashivat. So yeah, the Creed Aventus DNA is available in so many different versions across so many different fragrance houses. When it comes to performance, I really don't know. I need to wear it more. But based on how it sort of oozes from my hand and from the testing strip, this probably sort of has the same kind of performance as the original. But once again, I do need to wear it more to get a proper feel for its performance. So let's talk about price. I paid about 30 bucks for Vibrant Leather Explosion. So this is not something that is expensive at all. This is slightly cheaper than the Vibrant Leather Elixirs, but at pretty much the exact same price point as the other Vibrant Leathers. So my final thoughts on Vibrant Leather Explosion from Zara based on this first impression. This sure smells good. Am I blown away? Most definitely not. Will you smell good when you spray Vibrant Leather Explosion on? Yes, at least that's what I think. Is it a mass appealing, very likable kind of scent? Most definitely. So there you go, good, but it doesn't blow me away. Now I would absolutely love to know how you feel about Vibrant Leather Explosion. Is it a fantastic scent? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Do you like it? Comment. Like this video, I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you check out the videos over there, and I'll see you in the next one.